Are you trying to escape California because you've just had enough? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today. So let's do this. Hello everyone, my name is Rebecca Valera. I'm a former teacher turned realtor living here in the beautiful city of McKinney, Texas. So today I'm going to be going over 5 tips that will really help your move from California to Texas go super smooth. Alright, so tip number 1 is pretty obvious, but I still get people asking me questions either about it or they haven't thought about this step. So the first thing that you need to do is to find work. Now, if you're retired and you're planning to retire here in Texas, completely disregard this question at all because it doesn't apply to you. But those that will still need to work when they are living here in Texas will need to start looking for a job here. Now, in some lines of work, you're going to obviously get paid less.
I just feel so angry.
So expect a pay cut, but if they happen to give you the same salary for when you were living in California, that's just an added bonus because it does cost a lot less to live here than in California. So see that as a plus, not a negative. Now I will say though that teachers in Texas do get paid more here than in California. So if you're a teacher and you're moving from California to Texas, expect a pay raise versus pay decrease.
I love magic.
Also too, if you're currently working remotely in California, it could be a possibility that you could live pretty much anywhere you wanted and you could keep the same job and you could still work remotely at that job here in Texas, but you definitely want to talk with your employer about that to make sure that that's a possible move that you can make. And something else that you definitely want to talk to your current employer about, if you're not working remotely at the company that you're with right now, and there is an opening or a possibility for you to work remotely for them, let them know, hey, I'm thinking about moving to Texas. Would I be able to work remotely in Texas and still fulfill my duties and responsibilities for this job for you? So that's another conversation that you can have with your employer. Now, other jobs will have headquarters here in Texas, so it would just be a matter of getting that transfer from California to Texas.
And where would it take me?
I know someone had recently asked me about firefighters, and her husband was a firefighter in California and trying to find work here in the Dallas area. How hard would it be for him? So if you're a firefighter in California and you're wanting to make the switch here to Texas, what I would recommend that you do is to look and call around and ask around some of the smaller communities. Those that have smaller fire departments are more likely to take you on at your particular position and not make you start all over from the bottom and work your way up. So that transfer can hopefully be possible and you won't necessarily have to take a pay cut for that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Now, some of the other jobs, especially in the Dallas area, and I'm only mentioning the Dallas area briefly for this little stint because I live and work in the Dallas area, but there are a lot of tech companies in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and a good website to look for tech jobs if you are currently in a tech company in California would be dice.com. And I'm going to have a link to that so it'll make it really easy for you to click and go check out that website for tech openings. And if you're looking for any other positions in Dallas, San Antonio, Austin, or whatever it might be, usually the 2 top places to look for jobs would be on LinkedIn or Glassdoor. Those have been very good resources compared to some of the other ones that are out there. All right, and this last little note is for those who are needing a loan to purchase a home here in Texas. So if you're still planning to move to Texas and you're trying to make a career change as well, just keep in mind that if you are still going to be in a W-2 type situation, which means that the company is going to be taking out, their taxes, whatever the base salary is what the lender is going to go off of. Just note that those bonuses won't be able to be applied towards how much you make from the lender's perspective.
Hermione, whatever this is, it's not simple.
And if you're completely starting over fresh and your income is going to be based off of 1099 versus W-2, please note that the lender cannot count your income right away.
You must be joking.
And you have to wait at least 2 years for them to be able to count that income that you're going to be making. You may not be able to get a loan right away, so you may need the cash to purchase a home up front unless you plan on renting. Just to kind of give you an idea of what is expected when you are trying to move and change jobs and do a whole lot of things at once. All right, the next thing that you're going to absolutely want to do is connect with a local realtor in the area of Texas that you're wanting to move to. Now, I know all about the Dallas area and surrounding cities, including McKinney, Plano, Prosper, Frisco, Allen, and so on, right? I could keep going on and on and on, right? So that's the Dallas area. Now, if you're wanting to move to San Antonio, Austin, Houston, East Texas, West Texas, whatever part of Texas it is, please reach out to me because I know some other great realtors here in Texas that could definitely help you out and help you in your search. Because you and I both know that California is big, but so is Texas.
I'm just saying it could be a contributing factor.
And each area is going to be different and have its own set of pros and cons. All right, so the next step is going to be your research.
I'll be in my bedroom, making no noise and pretending that I don't exist.
The research is the fun part, right? You get to explore new cities in and around the main area that you want to be in. So if that's Austin, you're looking at not only Austin, but the surrounding cities and suburbs that are around Austin. If you're looking at Dallas, you're looking at the city of Dallas and all the surrounding cities and suburbs around it, seeing how far your commute would be if you lived here or there. You know, what's the crime rate like in this area? What's the tax rate like in this area? How good are the schools in this area? What's the best restaurant to eat at this area? How close is the Walmart to me in this area? How far away is civilization in this area over here? What's the shopping like in this area over here? What about the daycares? Is there going to be a daycare close to my house? Is there going to be one close to my work? I mean, you're going to be doing a lot of research in these specific areas, and your realtor should be able to aid and guide you with answers to these questions and more that you have for them. Now, the next step is also optional as well. If you don't have the time or necessarily the resources to do it, would be to actually either fly or drive in to Texas, maybe stay with some friends or family that you know in the area, or stay at a hotel. Just drive around, see what the area feels like. Maybe meet up with the realtor that you connected with and have them show you different parts of town that are unique or cool or that they like, or you know, maybe places that they hang out if you don't know anyone in the area. And if you do have friends or family in the area, maybe they can also help guide and direct you and answer some questions for you as well, which I'm sure if you're watching this video, you've probably been asking them a lot of questions too, and you're trying to search for other things. Now, just keep in mind that one side of Houston or one side of Dallas, like getting from one side to the next, or even driving from Dallas all the way to Fort Worth, could be a little long. So you want to make sure that if you're looking at homes on the Fort Worth side of town and then you're driving all the way over to the east side of Dallas, that it's not going to take you all day. So use that Google map and put in a couple of different houses that you're interested in, see what part of town they're located in, and just kind of drive around, get the feel for the area, get the feel for the neighborhood. And when you're in these areas, you really want to kind of take a look and see yourself. Oh, that Kroger is just 5 minutes from this house over here. How awesome is that? I don't have to drive 30 minutes to get to anything, right? If it's out in the country and you just love that it's so far out in the country and that you're away from everyone, I mean, that's something that you need to write down and make note of, right? Or if you're, too close to civilization, you're like, help me, these houses are so close together. Just a word of caution, if you're not able to do this and you really wanted to, don't stress out about this particular step.
What's happening to me?
because this is something that you can do a lot closer to when you're actually deciding to move and choose a house. So don't stress out about this. If you can't get to it right away, you can do it later, okay? Now, as far as your timeline goes, when you get to that point to where, okay, we're 3 months away from when we're gonna need to purchase said house in Texas, what you really need to do, especially more importantly, if you're going to be using a loan to purchase the house, you want to make sure that your finances are in order. So if that means a loan for you, then you want to make sure that you call a lender, you get pre-approved. I'm going to have a couple of lender contacts in the description below so you can get answers to the questions that you're looking for directly. And if you are purchasing with cash, you want to make sure that you have proof of funds, because the seller will want to see that before they accept an all-cash offer. So if you are taking out a loan, keep in mind that there are a couple of things that could affect your monthly payment. One of the biggest differences between Texas and California is the fact that Texas does not have state income tax.
I love magic.
But we do have a lot higher property taxes, which could drastically increase what you're thinking it might cost you for X amount of dollars, right? So you're gonna want to have a little bit of information about the property taxes and the insurance for the property. It's also important to know that if you are paying cash, that your property taxes that you're gonna be paying every year are gonna be quite a bit higher as well. And lastly, for those of you who are needing to get a home loan to make that purchase here in Texas, I just wanted to let you know that your lender should be able to break down the costs. So your taxes, your insurance, how much your mortgage payment is going to be for principal and interest. Your lender should be able to provide you with very accurate numbers before you even close on the property. All right, so the last parts of this are really, really simple. You find your house, your dream house in Texas. You write an offer for said dream house. You get your offer accepted for your dream house in Texas. Then you do your inspections, because those are important. You negotiate the repairs. That would be the next step. After that, you would be waiting on the appraisal if you're doing a loan. And if you were all cash, you could totally skip that step if you wanted to. Then you're gonna get the infamous clear to close. And you're gonna be able to close on your dream house in Texas. Woo! And then you hire those movers to get you out of California and head to Texas. And you have done it. You've moved from California to Texas, and you're here. Now, if you need a little bit more detailed information on how that last part of it worked with the contract and negotiations and all that craziness, you'll definitely want to check out my video right here. And if you need more information specifically about the Dallas area, you want to watch this video right here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Are you trying to escape? Are you trying to escape?